Assalamu alaikum students, welcome back. Today I am going to discuss about resource planning and resource planning in India. Basically, resource planning is widely accepted strategy and it is necessary if country like India, which has enormous diversity in the availability of resources. We know that India is a diverse country in all the way. If we talk about resources, we know that diversity in availability of resources. In India, there are the regions which are rich in certain types of resources, very rich, uh, like a forest resource or water resource, coal or minerals. Basically, rich in certain types of resources, but are deficient in some other resources. Technically, that certain resources are available and some deficient means unavailability, even scarcity. And there are some other reasons which can be considered self-sufficient in terms of availability of resources, where different types of resources are available. However, here one thing we have to note that shortage in such area, shortage of some vital resources, even like water or some common resources. Let's take example to understand it. For example, the states of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, those are rich in minerals and coal deposits. If we talk about Arunachal Pradesh and Assam, these states are rich in water resource as well as the forest resource because they have abundant water resources, but lacks in infrastructural development. If we talk about Rajasthan, like Rajasthan is very well endowed with the solar energy and the wind energy, but lacks in water resources. Right? One more example about the Ladakh region in India. The cold desert of Ladakh is relatively isolated from rest of the country. However, it has very rich cultural heritage, and this region has actually a picturesque area which is important for tourism purpose, but deficient in water, infrastructure, and some other vital minerals. So this calls the balanced resource planning in India at national level, at state level, and local level. So by this discussion, we can say that planning is essential for countries like India, necessary. So let's talk about resource planning in India, which is actually a very complex process which has three stages. I would like to say the three stages. First, identification, second one, implementation, and third one, matching. Remember these three words. So let's talk about what is identification. So first of all, need to identify the resources. Availability of resources in the area need to identify. But how? Identification by surveying, mapping, and qualitative and quantitative estimation and measurement of resources. Means resources are available, what kind of resources are available, in which area available, approximately quantity and type of resources, quality, etc. information, that what we call identification. Now first is identification done. Now we know what kind of resources are available in which area, which how much quantity, etc. information available to us, right, by through identification. Now the second stage, that is implementation. Implementation with appropriate technology, skill, and institutional setup for developmental plans. So how to implement development plans? Using technology, appropriate technology, human skills, as well as institutional setup. Now the third one, development plan in implementation. Now the third one, which is about matching the resource development plan with the overall national development plan. What is National Development Plan? That means in India there is a system adopted after independence, system of 5 years development plans, in which the government of India gives importance to certain sectors of the economy to give boost, to give developmental boost. So in country, means overall national development plan, in every 5 years development plan given importance to different sectors, so that is required resource development plans matching with it, so in hands can take development to the next stage. So India has made concern effort for achieving goals of resource planning right from the first 5 year plans launched after independence. The availability of resources is necessary condition for development of any region. Resources which is vital for survival, for development. However, only availability of resources does not lead us to the development. We need actually combination of resources, appropriate technology and institutional setup. So many states in India like Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, basically those are rich in minerals. However, we consider them economically backward. The reason is because of lacking of infrastructural development. Those states fail to get economic development, and they send their resources to different regions of India like Haryana, which has less resources like minerals and others, lack of minerals and other resources. However, that is one of the best in the industrial development. More about it, the history of colonization reveals that rich resources in colonies were the main attraction for the foreign inventors. British came to India. One of the reasons that trade, they were attracted from that resources of India. They wanted to establish trade with India, right? And the second, why they became that powerful in India, because in Britain they have utilized the appropriate technology and institution, that what we call the age of industrialization, and they began to exploit resources from colonies, from countries like India, and they feeded their industries in Britain, and this way they achieve the goals of development. Means they use the appropriate technology and institutional setups in their country. However, they were lacking of resources, so they exploited resources from countries like India, from their colonies. Therefore, in India, we know that we need institutional appropriate technology, human skills, as well as institutional setup accompanied with the available resources. Therefore, in India, development in general and resource development in particular does not only involve availability of resources but also the technology, quality of human resources, and historical experience of the people. So this is about the resource planning, and why resource planning necessary in countries like India, and we have seen resource planning in India. Next topic, conservation of resources as well as the land resources, we shall discuss in the next video. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching video.